guys, welcome to Watchdog Central. I just wanted to make a video about cinemas because I've seen some articles about these new things called Bulletscreen cinemas, which they're trying out in Japan at the moment. It's basically about using mobile phones inside cinemas. Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea to actually bring one of these bad boys into the cinema with you? You know, I've been to the cinema quite a lot in my lifetime, and I haven't been too much over the last couple of years. I think I went more around the early, between 2000 to 2006, because I had like a cinema pass back then. I just used to go like every week. But I probably haven't been since around 2008 or that. I think that was the last time I went to the cinema, probably due to a lot of the internet, the way you can download movies and, you can... I think a lot of it was probably due to the prices as well. I thought the prices started to increase a lot in that decade, and basically prices just went through the roof. Okay, so for whatever reason you do or don't want to go to the cinema, depending on, things that might annoy you when you go to the cinema. Maybe when you go to the cinema, people like, they make noise with their popcorn, or, there's too much noise in there and you'd rather be at home watching your movie. But how would you actually feel? I mean, considering I haven't probably been since around 2008, I don't know how bad it's got inside cinemas now with mobile phones, and they're bringing all these and like they're sitting there beeping and fucking phones are ringing. I don't know how bad it's got over the last good few years since I've been. But how would you feel if it was a norm to walk into the cinema and actually have people on their mobile phones while you're trying to watch a movie, and they're getting it beamed from their phone onto the projector screen? The messages go onto the projector screen and they're actually beamed onto the screen, text messages, while you're watching the movie. Now, me personally, I've got two mobile phones here. This was the first phone. I've had this for probably about a year now. I can probably count 4 times since I actually used this phone in my life. I don't like using mobile phones even outside. I don't like taking them out and about with me because I like walking down the road. I like having me time, I like having some peace. I then got given this phone because it's a phone where you can take pictures. Now I thought, great, I'm just going to bring this phone out with me and take my pictures. I'll probably never use it for making phone calls because I don't like using the phone when I'm out and about. But I know, call me an old bastard, I don't really care, but that's how I am. But when you go to the cinema, what are you going to the cinema for? You're going to the cinema because you want to watch a film. You want to sit down in the dark and you want to enjoy a nice good movie on the big screen. I was reading this one. Chinese cinemas use bullet screens to encourage texting during movies. They're actually starting to encourage this shit. Most of us wouldn't dream about using our mobiles in the cinema unless we want to be finishing our popcorn outside, but in China, pesky texters are actually being encouraged. It could either be a more terrible idea than another Transformers movie, or a great way to capture the attention of a generation afraid of being away from their phones. Chinese movie theatres are introducing Danyu, not sure how you pronounce the Chinese name there, translated as bullet curtains or bullet screens, where the audience can comment on the film in real time. So they'll be on their phones like this and they'll be texting away, ooh, and then the projector screens will beam that shit onto the actual camera screen while you're watching the film. And sometimes, I'll show you a picture, it actually can take up the entire screen with gibberish writing all over it, to the point where all of the movie is behind the text writing itself. Now, do you seriously think that people could actually sit down and endure that shit during a movie? Because I'll tell you something, I sure as fuck wouldn't want to. I shall go on. These bullets are text messages projected onto the screen as you watch the action, or if you try to watch the action through it. Throughout the flick, there's a constant stream of conversation and comments plastered over the picture. In an article by the New York Times, it mentions how comments can be so numerous they can obscure the entire screen. Over 2 hours of this, and you might be wishing they were real bullets. So this has actually only been going on in Japan and China, the way they've been testing it out. The idea for the bullet screens originated in Japan. I'm not going to knock the Japanese here because they've invented a lot of good shit over the years. And while enhancing the second screen experience, the idea is not to actually to watch engrossed as we know it, but instead it's a way to get together and Tukao, if that's how you pronounce the Chinese name there, which is Chinese for joking around, because that's what we want to do when we go to the cinemas. We want to project text onto the screen and joke around. That's what most people want to do, right? I want to see the movie, that's what I've gone for, about what's on the screen. It has found wide appeal on online videos in Japan and China, where users can engage in conversation right on the video rather than a chat box. It was even used during the FIFA World Cup, and this popularity has seemed to spread to the cinemas. Okay, it might sound hideous to us oldies. Basically, anybody who's over the age of 20 is considered an oldie nowadays. It may sound hideous to us oldies who like our movies, distraction free, but it's tapping into the generation with gradual warning attention spans who are active on social media. Basically, morons. Morons who can't sit down and watch a movie for more than 25 minutes without having to go onto their mobile phone and start texting gibberish. That's who it's designed for. Who are active on social media and can help hashtag a movie to box office success. Yeah, what's wrong with staying on your... Why can't you just stay on your computer and do that kind of shit, you know? You know, you want to text and go into the little chat rooms and instant text back and all this. Do it on the fucking internet. People go to a movie theatre to watch a film hassle-free. They don't want to see fucking text gibberish plastered all over the screen. We can hear marketing execs rubbing their hands together right now. Yeah, let's hope this shit doesn't take off, because this generation's fucked up enough with having this bullshit pushed on us. Now, considering I haven't actually been to the cinema in a good few years, I haven't tried out the whole new 3D thing. Wasn't too keen on the whole 3D TV things when they came out, but hey, I'm sure they're wonderful. But I've heard everything, near enough everything you see in the cinema now, half of it's 2D, half of it's 3D, so you've got your option whether you want to see 3D or 2D. I haven't been since all this 3D shit came along, so I wouldn't know what it's like. The last thing I've seen in the cinema in 3D, or the only thing I've seen in 3D in the cinema, was when I went to see A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6 back in 1991. And we had the old 3D glasses, you know, the old crappy ones, and they had the old projector 3Ds, but now they've got these new projected 3D screens, so I think, you know, they'd be quite decent nowadays. So I'm going to give it a try in the next few months, but I don't mind change in cinemas if it's going to better your experience. You know, it's going to give you something good or something better that's going to come along. But I just don't see what's better about having shit plastered over the actual screen like text gibberish. I don't see how that's a step in, you know, the right direction. I really don't. So I was reading this other article. Now, from what I can see about why it's been implemented in cinemas and why it's been brought in, is that you pay 10 cents. That's what they've got it down here. You pay 10 cents to actually text through to get onto the big screen. So that's where there's money involved in it. So that's why they're all up for this, because that's why they want to bring it in and try and bring it into other countries, because can we make more money off of it? This is the whole point of it, because of course it's about nothing else but money. There's nothing wrong with, you know, them branching into making things into 3D that can better the experience, but it's make your own mind up whether you think this is better in your cinema experience. Considering violence too often breaks out when people text in movie theatres, I'm guessing this bullet screen technology won't catch on in the United States. You know, they've got a point here. I mean, then again, I mean, if you know that's what you're walking into, but how many people are actually going to know when they go to the cinema? Is it going to be labelled that this is a bullet screen, and you're going to actually know before you walk through the door that it's got texture vision? You're going to be 20 minutes into the movie and realise this shit. Okay, so if there were specific screenings that were blocked off for people who wanted to do the bullet screens, would you go? Would you even pay extra? You know that theatre chains and major Hollywood studios will be paying close attention to the response to this new system. If it's something that can drive up attendance at US theatres where numbers have been down all season. You see, this is another thing that winds me up about the bullshit they're coming out with. You know, where numbers have been down for all season. The numbers have been down all season for a reason, you know. It's been down for a reason. It's because it costs too much. Most people don't go to the cinemas because it costs too much fucking money to go nowadays. This is the reason. Unless you get a cinema pass where you can actually benefit throughout the year, where you can just basically tank and go to as many times as you want for like £20 a month. I mean, I'm going to be getting a cinema pass in the next few weeks. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because the cinemas up London that are charging £14 just to go to. £14 to get into the cinema to see a movie, and that's just to get in. That's not for, you know, if you wanted any extra food or any shit like that, which I won't be buying because it's all overpriced garbage in the cinemas, so more than likely be sneaking the shit in like everyone else does. But £14 to see a film up London, and it's about £9.80 everywhere else in the UK. Now, that's why cinema prices are down. You know, you can blame it on whatever you want, but the reason that cinema prices, I mean, people aren't going to cinema anymore, is for that reason alone. That's my opinion anyway. So basically what we have here is cinema numbers are down, so they're hoping this can come into other countries so they can actually start charging you for text messages, 10 cents a time or however much it would cost in the UK if it ever came over here, just basically to pump the money up. Now, you know, when it comes to this whole 3D thing, a lot of people complain that 3D is a bit of a rip-off. I've been reading up about everything on the internet over the last few weeks about all this cinema shit, but the 3D thing is where you go into the cinema, see a 3D movie, you're charged a little bit more, or they charge you £1.80 to £2 in the UK to actually get the 3D glasses. I can see the point to that, because you're paying for glasses, it costs money for them to produce and make glasses. A lot of people leave the cinema when they watch the 3D movies and they take the glasses with them. They tell you in the cinemas, and some cinemas, to dispose of these 3D glasses or hand them in, depending on which cinemas you go to. They vary at different cinemas. Now, they charge you £1.80 to £2, but that money goes towards the glasses. It also goes towards the projector screens that they put inside the cinemas to actually beam you the 3D technology. So that's what you're paying for. So I can see the whole point of that. But this shit with the texting, I don't get it. I never fucking will. I hope it never leaves Japan. I hope it fails miserably and falls flat on its fucking ass. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know down below. I think it's a pile of blithering shit, and I just hope it never leaves Japan. This is Watchdog Central, and I shall see you in the next video.